Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to another video today. My name is Chris, and today we're going to be making a little bit of a different video. This is a video I have been meaning to make for a very long time now. This is the Stop and Shop Supermarket located in Carlstadt, New Jersey. This is a very unique looking building, and the reason I say that is because this building has some history that not a lot of people know about. This was a warehouse for a very long time for Grand Union, and you could see too that they completely took advantage of the whole industrial roadway. So this, I believe, back in the very early '90s, and when it opened. This is the quick description here from a post on Flickr. In the late '90s, it became, or before that, it was a Grand Union distribution center. Um, so basically, for a very long time, until about the late 1990s, this was the distribution center for all the Grand Union stores in New Jersey, at least. I'm sure they had multiple, but Carlstadt back in the day happened to be one of the Grand Union distribution centers. And then obviously the merger in 2001 with Grand Union and Stop and Shop, and this became a Stop and Shop because of the merger. But well, here we are, 20 years later, and things are not looking too good for this Stop and Shop supermarket. First of all, we have absolutely no word that this is getting a renovation. Just take a look at the parking lot. It looks like they're really neglecting the parking lot, and that's typically not a good sign. A couple of tenants have sadly left the mall. Most notably, the most recent departure from, I believe this is the Carlstadt Commons, was Subway, but there was writing on the wall that the Subway's days were numbered. They had closed one day on a Sunday, and then finally, I think they closed in May. I'm not exactly too sure when it closed, but with Subway gone, there's not really too many other options. I mean, obviously the laundromat's the laundromat. That's an essential need, but I firmly believe this Stop and Shop days are numbered. They have not done any renovations with this one. The parking lot is very neglected. And another reason why I believe that the Stop and Shop days are numbered is if we take a look here. Let's go here. So Stop and Shop, Carlstadt. So we're gonna actually go ahead and quickly go to here, and we're gonna go ShopRite of Wallington, and we do the walk and we do the drive. Look at that, less than half a mile. Now, to be fair, yes, there's the same thing in White Clough with a Stop and Shop and a ShopRite, but personally, in my opinion, I just don't see Stop and Shop surviving. Unfortunately, as much as I hate to say that, I have been inside the store numerous times, and I cannot express the decline and the quality and decline of the store. There have been days when I have gone in here, and I'm a very frequent visitor to this Stop and Shop location. It's the closest one. I came in here on days when there has been no customers in the store. And I mean, they're very nice in here. It's not to say that the staffing is, it's not to say that it's a bad staff. I think it's a wonderful staff in here. The problem is they're getting their butts kicked by ShopRite, and ShopRite is less than half a mile away. You can make an exception, I think, for the whole White Clough area because there's enough demand in that area. The problem is there's not enough demand in this area to house both a Stop and Shop and ShopRite, and we already know which one's winning. It's absolutely 100% ShopRite, taking all the business away from the Stop and Shop. And even the Burger King here, I think, is probably going to close as well. I just don't see the Burger King surviving. And I honestly think they're just going to make all of this, they're probably going to make all of this industrial. They'll probably try and relocate the laundromat in this strip mall. I just, personally, in my opinion, it's also, too, not the easiest lot to get into, especially if you're off Patterson Avenue. Because if you want to go in here, you have to go around. Where, say, a ShopRite, you could just simply make a left. So it's a shame, but I do think that this Stop and Shop days are numbered. I mean, maybe not numbered as so it's going to close by the end of this year, but I don't see this Stop and Shop surviving for much longer. The only thing that this store really has going for the only really major thing the store has going for itself right now is the pharmacy. Other than that, I don't think this store has a future. And even then, people can just go elsewhere. They could go to the Stop and Shop in Hackensack, which is only a couple of miles north of here. Which, by the way, they did an absolutely beautiful renovation to that store, and it really does put the Carlstadt Stop and Shop to shame. And that's saying a lot, especially since that they've had this store for almost 20 years. So, I mean, even signs like that you could tell. And again, I'm not trying to bash the store. It's not their fault that ShopRite moved in their turf. ShopRite for many years was in Passaic, but when they got the opportunity to move out of there, they probably had flooding issues, and they saw I think it was Food Basics that closed in Wallington. ShopRite literally jumped on the opportunity to take the spot, and they did not mess around, and they basically are now basically kicking Stop and Shop's butt. Again, I wish nothing but the best for the staff if they do announce the closing, which is probably likely. I wouldn't say this year, but if we're going to see a closing announcement for this Stop and Shop location, I would say it's probably going to be within the next year or so. Or they could very well turn around and do a renovation. But personally, I just don't see that happening. It's a very oversized Stop and Shop, and the question is, does Stop and Shop really want to invest? Because you got to remember, a renovation for a store like this would cost a lot of money. And the question is there enough people that go in here? So there's a lot of factors and variables, but I do definitely think that this store's days are numbered. Well, months rather are numbered, but it's whatever way you want to put it. Plus, you have all this industrial behind here, so it's like, it's do we really keep it open, especially with all the industrial, or do we just call it quits, cut ties, and offer employees jobs at, say, the Lyndhurst Stop and Shop or the Stop and Shop in Hackensack? There's a lot of ways that this can go. But I just don't see this store making it past 2023. I think this store is going to close. It's just inevitable at this point. So, anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. So again, this was a Grand Union distribution center. Then it became a Grand Union, and then Stop and Shop in 2001. So, anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and that will be it.